Raising the stakes, markets are pointing toward a sell-off at the start of trading this morning after President Trump yesterday further escalated the trade tensions with a proposal to levy yet another $100 billion in tariffs on Chinese goods after China reacted yesterday. The president says that he's considering the additional tariffs because, quote, rather than remedy its misconduct, China has chosen to harm our farmers and manufacturers. China's Commerce Ministry fired back, releasing a statement saying this: the Chinese side will follow suit to the end, not hesitate to pay any price, resolutely counterattack, and take new comprehensive measures in response. However, earlier in the day, the president shrugged off the concerns of a trade war during his roundtable discussion in West Virginia.
In many respects, I think we're going to have a fantastic relationship long-term with China, but we have to get this straightened out. We have to have some balance. And that goes for other countries, and it goes for other places.
Joining us this morning is former Special Assistant to President Trump, Marc Lotter, along with former Senior Advisor to the Clintons and author of Microtrends Squared, Mark Penn, with us in the studio. Good to see you, gentlemen. Thanks so much for joining us. Mark Penn, let me kick it off with you. Your thoughts on this latest escalation?
Well, I think everybody has to keep in mind that China is an export economy. We are a consumer economy. Our Harvard Caps poll this week said voters believe that China has taken advantage of the U.S., but they are worried about tariffs because investors and commentators don't support the U.S. in their fight against China. It's a fight. What do you expect? Yeah, and what is the president supposed to do if he wants to get this fixed and go after China for misconduct? What other levers does he have to push? Like the North Koreans, if the Chinese don't believe that he's serious, that he's the one president out of several that will fight back, they will never recede the various unfair trade practices that they've adopted. Yeah, Mark Lotter, we're talking about $375 billion deficit. My point that I keep making is, how much is China going to push and mess around with this several $100 billion surplus that they have? You know, they're going to keep fighting and give up this incredible position that they're in, that, you know, we're buying so much more from them than they are from us?
And to Mark's point, this is decades in the making, and China has looked as America for many decades, has talked tough but not followed through with the action. They know now, and President Trump is showing them he is serious about rectifying this unfair trade practices. It also should be noted that he also directed the Agriculture Secretary last night to make sure that our farmers are not hurt in this. So the president is serious about protecting American jobs, American companies, and he's sending a very strong message to the Chinese. This is not just talk. We are going to get this solved. I know, but I mean, they're both digging in now, Mark. I mean, you know, what's going to give? The markets are trading down. You see how investors are reacting to this. Do you worry that with each side digging in a little more, it's turning into an out-and-out trade war, which was the big worry? I don't think so. I think you see that the president and the Chinese are sending strong messages to stake out their negotiating points. But at the end, President Trump, President Xi will come together. China knows what they're doing. We know what China is doing. And so we will get this rectified. But you've got to show that we're serious about it. And that's where the U.S. has failed in the past. We've talked tough. We've not backed it up. We've got a president now in the Oval Office who's not only talking tough, he's going to back that up. And I think as China comes to realize that they will come to the table and they'll take care of these issues. Mark, we know the tone of markets. What's the tone of the people? You're out there really seeing how people are reacting to all of this. Well, I think people are nervous. Yeah. I think people support the goals. That's the important thing. Okay. But they're always nervous about presidents. Presidents have to lead. I don't think the president's gotten out enough and explained, why am I doing this? What are the benefits? Look, on a good day, trade is a confusing topic for the American public if leaders don't explain what they're doing, why, and how the U.S. will benefit rather than lose. Let me switch gears, Mark Lotter, and ask you about the controversy surrounding embattled EPA Chief Scott Pruitt. He's facing a slew of questions this morning, Mark, over first-class travel, pay for 2 staffers, his condo rental in Washington. Pruitt reportedly fell behind on payments for that condo, which is owned by a lobbyist. So despite the scandals, President Trump voiced his support for the EPA chief yesterday. Listen to this.
I think that Scott has done a fantastic job. I think he's a fantastic person. I just left coal and energy country. They love Scott Pruitt. They feel very strongly about Scott Pruitt, and they love Scott Pruitt.
Mark Lotter, Lotter, how do you see it? Is Pruitt's job safe, or is he the next to go?
I think the first thing that the president recognizes is that Administrator Pruitt is probably one of his most aggressive and successful people in rolling back regulations, taking $1 billion of cost off of our businesses in doing so. And that will buy him some grace period through some of these headlines. But they keep coming. And I think that eventually he's going to have to get this rectified, because doing a great job, doing it quickly, that's good for the president. But this is becoming a sideshow. And I think the president is going to have to look at those issues, as he said he was going to yesterday.
At this point, people would not be surprised to see somebody else leave the White House.
I think every time he says, I support you, a week later, they're out. So the $50 a day condo thing to the lobbyist is just very different than all the other things. I think that's what's got him hard to get out of.